what's going on today? I know you're not your normal self, because you can't know what their normal self is if you never talk to them and never know what their name is. Like that's just so many levels of like why things, you might have um a high turnover in your company, or you just feel, yeah, there's a lot of issues that can be very easily fixed, with
I
just
agree.
very simple solutions. So
And no like you don't need the politics of it all, because that just makes it polarizing and complicated. That's what's difficult. So at the beginning, I'll wrap up with this question here. Actually, I have two more questions, but
oh
fierce
no.
kindness. I want to ask you, fierce kindness. You said you're an advocate of fierce kindness. What is fierce kindness to you? Although I feel like we've gotten that throughout the show, but if you had to summarize it, what is fierce kindness and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, it's like, you have this myth that being nice is you're gonna get walked over, or kindness is weakness, which is it's there's a difference between fierce kindness and being nice. Nice is just allowing people to walk all over you, people pleasing, really. And people pleasing is dishonest. It's manipulative. It's not, it's doing something because you're expecting something in return. Fierce kindness, on the other hand, is just doing something nice because it's the right thing. And if they do something back, great. If not, I just did it because like I needed to do it for you. It's also the ability to be able to say no, like, or stand up for how you feel, because if they continue to cross those boundaries, like it's not going to show, like it's not going to be a good situation for either one of you. And you want to respect that relationship by opening up about how you feel and having those difficult conversations. That takes courage. Kindness there's even science behind it, like that you live a longer life, you get better feelings, it multiplies. Like a small act of kindness can literally affect people that you don't even know. So it's about fostering that in people, and just having that, like looking at people as fellow human beings, and not like, yeah, they did something wrong, but not pointing it out to everybody and just trying to, like, over Facebook or whatever, and just calling it out and saying, maybe call it out, but be like, look, I understand where you're coming from, but here's some other things that
There's a
you
new
can look at.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't agree with what you're saying completely. I do part of it, but maybe open your mind to this, instead of just being like, you're wrong. Like, how could you say that on this post? This is a kind post. Like, you're not
I
being
mean, people on
kind.
the
Like,
internet, people on the internet will hate Santa Claus and try to cancel
yeah.
him. Like
And
it's,
those people need
uh,
it the most.
yeah,
Those people really
exactly.
do. And that's really where the fierce kindness is like seeing the trauma that other people are, they're crying out for help. They may not take the kindness right now, but like I said, it's about planting those seeds and showing up and being like, because I've always looked up to people that are like, they get hit with some devastating news, or somebody just disrespects them, and you're expecting them to retaliate, and they just humbly say, and move on, and like they take it in stride. um it's always you always, and you want
It's
to
like the
be like
subtle
that,
art
but
of not
nobody has
giving
the
a fuck.
strength.
Yeah. It's like the book, The
In a
Subtle Art
way,
of
but
Not
you're
Giving a
you're just
Fuck.
like, I don't want to have an argument here. Like, it's not. It's I know they're not going to listen, and I don't want to put myself in that position. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
it's
agree with you. And
powerful.
I think you said that so well. There's part of that I really probably needed to hear. Because even last week I was, with my therapist, and I've been in a bit of a rough patch lately, we'll just say. And one of the things that she said to me to think about before next week is think about how much of my disappointment is because I have high expectations of other people, and what it could look like if I didn't have expectations of other people, but only had expectations of myself.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
it's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, fuck. Okay, it's like I know that, but sometimes you need to hear it. Or like you said, like, kindness is doing something without expecting something in return.
Yeah,
And I
because
think
that's
that
just
that's
manipulation.
important.
It's
Yeah.
not kindness. It's not
Yeah,
kindness anymore. It's something
no.
else. But
Yeah.
it
And
doesn't mean
I,
that it can't become kindness. It's just
right.
we gotta understand the difference because, like, if you're thinking about it from that other end, kindness seems impossible. Some kindness seems like it's just going to be taking and taking and taking, and that version of it is. But when you set those boundaries and you know when to show up and you see people with hope, but you give yourself, they understand. Like, people just, they're not mind readers. They need to know where the boundaries are, and sometimes you got to tell them in a nice way.
And
Sometimes
enforce them.
it may not look that way, but it's firm. You're holding on to, and maybe in the beginning, it's going to look bad, but you got to understand. You got, like, for me, I had to make mistakes in these conversations to understand how to get better at having better conversations. So if I never took that risk to make a mistake and have conversations that I've never had before with people that I was scared to have those conversations with, like, I would have never been able to be like, hey, maybe I could have done this here. But I'm also looking at it like, hey, like, wow, you were brave there. Like, that took a lot of courage to stand there and even to make those mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I appreciate you sharing that.
I
And
appreciate
I
that.
appreciate you sharing everything that you shared today. Thank you for listening to this clip from the full episode of Eyes Wide Open. Please like and subscribe for daily clips and new episodes that drop every Tuesday. I appreciate you.